The sirens finally faded, leaving behind only the crackle of dying flames and the suffocating smell of smoke. James stood on the sidewalk, his hands trembling, watching as his life's work, a family bakery that had stood in his Chicago neighborhood for 3 generations, was reduced to charred rubble. In a single night, a senseless electrical fire had taken absolutely everything. For weeks, the grief was a physical weight crushing his chest. James couldn't even bring himself to walk past the empty lot. He spent his days staring at the ceiling of his small apartment, paralyzed by the loss. The flour-dusted aprons, the warm smell of fresh yeast, the familiar laughter of his morning regulars. It was all completely gone. He felt hollowed out, entirely defeated by the cruelty of life. One cold, rainy afternoon, the city ordered him to clear the remaining debris. As he sifted through the blackened, broken bricks with blistered hands, his shovel hit something solid. He dropped to his knees and dug it out of the ash. It was his grandfather's heavy cast-iron bread pan. The wooden handle was completely burned away, and it was coated in thick, black soot, but the iron itself was unbroken. James held it to his chest and wept. It was a visceral, agonizing release of all the pain he had been carrying. But as the tears eventually slowed, a quiet, undeniable realization settled over his mind. The fire had taken the building, the ovens, and the money, but it hadn't taken his hands. It hadn't burned away the recipes etched into his memory, or the resilience his grandfather had taught him. The next morning, James didn't go back to the ruins. Instead, he walked to the grocery store. He bought a simple bag of flour, yeast, and salt. In his cramped apartment kitchen, he began to knead the dough. He baked 3 loaves in that charred iron pan and carried them down to a local farmer's market. He didn't have a beautiful storefront anymore, just a cheap folding table and a sign written in marker on a piece of cardboard. But when his first customer took a bite of the warm bread, closed their eyes, and smiled, James felt a tiny spark ignite inside his chest. It was small, and it was fragile, but it was there. He was starting